You've all done this before, but I'm new to the whole plastic sheeting situation and the audience on a small screen.
I haven't done plastic sheets before. How dare you?
Is this where you thought we'd be in April 2021?
This is where I think we'll be in April 2094. Actually, no, Jack's doing gloom tonight. I'm doing positive.
Yeah, keep it light, Ian. Make my job easier.
Jazz hands at the end of every answer. Like lots.
That lifts everything, doesn't it? And we've got a virtual audience, of course, from around the world joining us. There they all are. Look at them. Hello, everybody.
Go for
That's
that.
very good to hear. Because the
Thank
sound
you.
we heard in the studio was like somebody trying to get sauce out of a bottle in a crematorium.
I've had my vaccine, right? I'm a little bit annoyed because I genuinely didn't feel a thing. And there was me saying, oh, thank you very much, it was brilliant. And on the way out, I thought, well, how do I know they've actually done it? I didn't have a sore arm, didn't have any side effects at all. As far as they could have been taking the piss. I just thought, well, they're low on doses. If we don't like the look of him, let's not give him an injection.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've had nothing. I might not have, but I've been told I have. See...
I knew you'd find a miserable hang.
Did they give you a little sticker at least?
I wanted a I've been brave sticker. I think that would have been good. That would have sort of, you know... Obviously, there are 4 of them holding me down at the time.
I mean, clearly there's a low, much less scary line on there that says likely scenario, but all the headlines are about the third wave that will be as bad as the one we had in January. The big blue line there. Are the scientists to blame, or is that the media for focusing on the worst possible news there? Why did journalists do that, Ian?
What? Try and make a story out of it?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I think the scientists have decided that the Prime Minister doesn't listen to them unless they really, really overdo it.
Right.
So that when you have the official briefing, Boris says, well, I think we might come out of lockdown, and then the two either side say, no, you're all going to die. Die.
Right.
And then there's a happy balance between Boris's view and theirs.
Right.
I think that's what we're trying to achieve now.
See, Ian, I think that would have been so much more effective if you said, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. That's it.
Does anyone know why the politics editor of the Liverpool Echo, Liam Thorpe, aged 32 with no underlying health conditions, was offered the vaccine?
Oh, yes.
They thought his BMI was incredibly high because they thought he was 2 inches tall.
Yes.
He had an astonishingly high BMI of 28,000, which is 1,000 times the average.
Relatable after lockdown.
Yeah. Due to him weighing 17.5 stone and his GP surgery listing his height as 6.2 centimetres.
He just watches lots of old Michael Douglas films, doesn't he? He's sitting there watching Wall Street going, this is good, I'd like to wear those braces. Oh, look, the scene in the back of the car. God, I'd like that. I think people overestimate Boris. They think he's reading classical texts at home. He isn't. He's watching old 80s films. Oh, look, she's putting the bunny in the saucepan. That makes sense.
I have to say, I haven't seen either of these films, but I'm quite enjoying... I feel like I don't need to now.
Oh, right, no. Well, let me tell you...
Can you do Taxi Driver?
Get in the back.
You got to keep your hands on the wheel.
So what is the government proposing as the solution to all our COVID problems? What's going to unlock it all?
Passports.
There you go.
Passport.
Vaccine passport,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't think you need to do that. All you have to do is punch people on the arm, and if they scream, you know.
Well, not you, apparently.
No, I wouldn't happen to. I didn't have the jab, did I? I went along, I rolled my sleeve up, I was very brave. I looked away, and they said, all done? Yeah, sure. I just say I think they should make the injections hurt a bit more, so we all know we've had one.
Yeah. They should start recruiting unqualified people.
Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it, and it'll hurt like buggery.
Yeah, I think that goes in the arm, to be honest.
That's what they did wrong.
And meanwhile, what have all politicians of every stripe seemingly become obsessed with recently?
Oh, flags.
Here they are, Dominic Raab on a flag, Priti Patel on a flag, Kwasi Kwarteng on a flag. Unfortunately, Minister for Culture Oliver Dowden didn't get the email.
In the report you published last week, the BBC across the UK, again, how many images were there of the Union Jack in that?
Well, I could hazard a guess based on where the question was going, but I haven't looked.
Yeah, again, it was none. So maybe in the annual report for this year, perhaps you could include some imagery around the union flag.
He hasn't got any bloody flags
No, he's
either.
not got a flag.
He should have his flag tattooed on his forehead if he loves this country.
He's wild, that James Wild, isn't he? Or we do, not having any flags on the set here, we might get the BBC in trouble again.
Yes.
I might see what I can do about that. Ah, it's there you are.
It just looks like a pawn shop now.
Go on. And this is genuine Friday night satire.
Yeah.
Nigel Farage, he's done it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's doing his greeting card sort of business thing. Is he? Where you do a personalised message for people?
Personalised video message.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Cameo.
It's one step up from OnlyFans, anyway. I like everyone pretending they don't know what that is. Well done. That's a site where gentlemen can watch ladies in various states of undress for
What's
money.
it called?
Is probably Nigel Farage's next venture, because he seems very keen on Cameo.
Nobody wants to watch Nigel Farage taking his clothes off. I don't believe.
I believe there are several women who would say otherwise.
Oh.
But that's out of a world population of how many?
It's about the same risk as a blood clot.
Surprise someone with a cameo message from me, Nigel Farage. If they're a Brexiteer, it could be a birthday, a wedding, an anniversary, and I will cheer them up. But also, if you know somebody that's a Meghan Markle supporting woke warrior Ramona, well, I could really surprise them with a message, couldn't I?
I didn't know he's a Sylvanian family member.
Do you want to see what you can get for your 75 quid? Here's an example.
Yeah, please.
Terry, birthday boy, 78 today. I am told. They tell me you've got liver and onions tonight for your dinner. Well, I can't think of anything more British.
I'm glad that the word liver was followed by an onion. It really sounded like he was going to give him a medical diagnosis. A
Really nice.
special birthday treat.
So on to round two, which this week is the jigsaw of news.
That was a few years ago.
That's Ian.
Oh, blimey. Staring me right in the face.
Yeah.
Who would like to see a dog interrupting a weather reporter in Russia this week?
Столбики термометров будут показывать на этой неделе до 8 плюс 9 градусов. Ну, судя по всему, связь с нашим корреспондентом прервалась. Сейчас мы снова попытаемся с ней связаться.
Well, she's not got much of a sense of humour, is she?
Why has this pheasant been given the name Mr. Angry?
Does he just attack people when he sees them?
He attacked one particular Norfolk postman.
Certain part of the round is always there waiting for me. 2 weeks ago he flew waist height at me and knocked all the letters out of my hand. So he's become a bit of a problem now. He sees me, he circles me, and then he makes a run for my ankles, dives at them, try and peck them. I don't want to hurt him, but I have to sort of kick him away a little bit, but he won't back off, and he ends up chasing me till I can get in the van and I'm safe then.
Well, I don't know whether he's angry or amorous. Because it could be the red trousers are setting him off.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it does. I mean, he's dressed like Santa's little helper, isn't he? I don't know why this caravan has been causing controversy this week. Does anyone know why?
Did he get stuck in the Suez Canal?
Paul, what colour's the caravan?
Well, that side is white.
It's all white?
Has it got blue stripes?
Looks like it's got it may have a blue stripe in it. Yeah, maybe turquoise slightly. I'm not sure. Yeah, perhaps.
I can see pink.
I can
Yeah?
see pink and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
It's actually white and green, but lots of people are saying they see white and blue, white and pink, or even purple and blue.
Are there some scientists behind this?
Interesting, isn't it? This is how the pheasant in Norfolk sees it.
I think that was something to do with duvet coats. And there's a fashion thing that's the thing.
Is it meant to be pheasant-proof?
It's either that or an airbag has gone off in his face and he get away from the scene of the accident.
This coat was a collaboration with renowned fashion designer Rick Owens. Shall we take a look at some of his previous creations? This is from a 2018 collection.
No, that was nice.
And this was 2016.
Well, I hope they've had their jabs.
if you use a what, then you're probably really old.
If you use certain types of emoji...
One particular emoji, which the kids ain't using.
Is it the one of Sir Anthony...
It's the thumbs up
Which one?
emoji.
Oh, it's the thumbs up?
Yeah.
As one dog grooming salon reopens in Bicester, Alan Carr's pug arrives for a nail trim.
Okay.
As you all know, last Friday, the nation was united in sorrow following the sad announcement that the much-loved MasterChef final had been taken. Incidentally, if you are offended by jokes about Prince Philip, that's fine. It's what he would have wanted.
I just want to say, Adrian, this is difficult for you because it is, a major, historical figure has died. But when Margaret Thatcher died, Brian Blessed hosted the show, and you can imagine that 2 minutes silence was very hard to achieve.
It is classic. I mean, in television, they're always like generals fighting the last war. This was about the Queen Mother, and the BBC got it in the neck then because they didn't put on enough coverage of the Queen Mother. So they thought this time we'll have nothing but coverage when this royal dies. So we had this just absolute tsunami of coverage, which was on literally all the time. And even if you were quite interested at the beginning, and I am quite interested, I sort of, let's go back and do the Second World War and naval battles, let's have it all. By the end of it, I'm going, stop! It's just, they had the same thing on every channel all the time.
Can anyone recall any of Prince Philip's legendary banter at this point?
There's an awful lot of it.
Yes.
Well, he did once say about his daughter, Princess Anne, if it doesn't fart or eat hay, she's not interested. So the Queen decreed that all the men had to wear suits. Whose plans did that thwart?
Well, that's dear old Prince Andrew, who was desperate to dress as an admiral. I'm not sure that they were in civvies for this reason. I think they've just gone a bit to seed during lockdown, like a lot of us have, put on a bit of weight, and frankly, the only clothes that fit anymore will be their pyjamas.
You think they can turn up in pyjamas?
Well, that would have been a look, wouldn't it?
That'll be good for the royal commentators. And here he comes, wearing Marks and Spencer's. Paisley pattern there, is it a Paisley pattern there? Looking resplendent.
Yes.
Pyjamas, of course, invented by Prince Philip.
And there's the royal hot water bottle.
Otherwise known as Princess Michael of Kent. Yes, so that's the moment, I suppose, when people...
Freedom!
Everything's opening up again, or a lot of things are. Things that you can do indoors, things you can't do outdoors.
Correct. Let's see two people delighted to be able to visit a restaurant in Cranley, Surrey. Yes, that looks fun, doesn't it?
I bet it was fun.
If you were having soup, it would take you about 4 years to finish it.
Lots of my friends saying, oh, let's go out and have a drink. And I think, no, I have done that in lockdown. That's the one thing I think I've probably got quite good at.
Have you been sitting on a park bench on your own here with a...
Swearing with a bottle of cider.
Yeah. And a newspaper.
Yeah.
Bloody Cameron.
But it is difficult going back to actual measures when you're not free pouring them yourself in the lounge. That was an adjustment. We had a pub lunch outside and I just thought, something's wrong with this fridge. I didn't make it.
Shall we have a look at how one reporter covered the reopening of Blackpool Pleasure Beach?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of work to do here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, getting ready for the crowds to come back on Monday. Here's a bit of the work that they've got to do.
That man there, does he always shout like that? But he thought to try and cover it, they put him on a roller coaster.
Yeah, he probably always does. We mentioned Nigel Farage's venture into personal video messaging last week.
Yes.
Let's take a look at how that's going.
Right, yeah, lovely.
Happy birthday, Hugh Janus.
Was that him looking into a mirror?
Let's have a quick look at how Alex Salmon's Alba Party are doing in their efforts to promote themselves in Scotland. Oh, mother of God. What has the talented artist and pig, Picasso, been painting recently? I'll give you a clue. Here is the finished piece.
That does look like Boris Johnson to me, I'll be honest.
Well, actually, that's Prince Harry, apparently. And,
how do we know?
The pig said. Who is this beguiling creature? Yes, it's Dolly Parton. Ooh. And, yes.
That's it?
Yeah, apparently.
She's not aged well, is she?
And who's this?
That's Donald Trump.
Correct.
Wow.
I've got into the pigs.
How do you
genre
do that?
now.
How do
You've got into the pig genre?
Yeah.
Have you? I can't believe how this show has deteriorated over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, what has happened to us? I mean,
Yeah.
We are what? Yeah, exactly. What?
when did we stop caring?
In our universal grief, we're naming celebrities painted by a pig.
And so, how else did Governor Aman Tuleyev hoodwink people into thinking they'd seen a Yeti?
Well, he dressed up in a Yeti costume and ran around up in the mountains and gave the traditional Yeti mating call.
I think you should go and have a chat with this guy, because that's exactly what he did. 1997 to 2018, Tuleyev gave instructions to his staff such as find someone tall, turn a fur coat inside out and run around shouting. A local Siberian artist claimed that a Yeti actually posed for him. The main thing was his eyes. They were just like...
At the opening of a new university in Moscow, one student picks the worst possible day to wear his new platform shoes.
And yes, this is a protest outside Chelsea about the new Super League that was put forward on Monday and had sort of completely fallen over by Wednesday.
And I think people's objection was that it was all to do with money. Is that a new thing in football?
No, I think the objection mainly was that if you could be in this league, there'd be no relegation. And if you were one of the teams that wasn't in this league, you couldn't get into the league. So essentially, it was a series of exhibition matches. You know, if you lost, it didn't matter.
Bit like this.
Bit like that. Well, if there was relegation in this, Ian would be in some sort of semi-amateur dramatic version of it somewhere in a church hall in Tunbridge Wells. But, you know, he's not.
Genuinely, I'm going to say it, that 48 hours is the most I've enjoyed football in my lifetime. And I say that as a football fan, because you had anger, you had excitement. That's why I'm into football. And then we won. I've never experienced that before. It was everything.
Which team do you support?
Plymouth.
Oh, I see.
We weren't in the 12.
No. You're lucky to be in the 92, aren't you?
Did you take part in the protests at all?
I was down there outside the
Wembley.
Wembley.
No, don't help him. Watching Ian struggle with popular culture is one of the highlights of my life.
Sorry.
He knows what he wants, and he's parked his weasels, and he's come out, and I thought, oh, this is serious.
He's parked his weasels.
What is weasels?
I'm assuming it's a football term, is it?
That is a football term, yeah. And Ian will explain it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there used to be a club called the Weasels, and they changed their stadium from the Den to the Park.
Yeah, that's right.
The Nottingham Weasels, wasn't it, Ian?
They were good.
So, I mean, if you've parked a weasel, can you be guaranteed that that weasel will be there when you get back?
I think your issue is clamping them.
Yes.
You need tiny clamps, don't you, if you're going to clamp a weasel?
Yeah. And then you get the RSPCA involved.
Oh, God, those busybodies.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to park my weasel.
Yeah. Unless they're like balloons, you can rub them on your jumper and stick them against the wall. Can we do that with a weasel? Can we check that?
Did Boris Johnson said that he would drop a legislative bomb? What did he mean by that?
He's going to park his weasels.
It's amazing how fast he can actually get legislation through, or threaten to, when it's something really important like football. Any other sort of major bill takes years to pass through the Commons.
Well, how much does he know about football? What is Boris Johnson's experience of football?
He once rugby tackled a person in a charity match.
Let's have a look at that very match.
It's like a metaphor for Brexit right there.
I don't know the rules of football, but I feel this is like breaking some of them.
Presumably Boris Johnson went to a rugby playing school. That's a thing, isn't it, that posh schools...
Yeah, but even playing rugby, you don't do that. You make an attempt to get the ball, don't you?
No, it's just, if he sees a rule to be broken, he does it. He just can't help himself. It's just an instinct. So he thought, I know what'll make me popular. I'll save football.
It's difficult to tell, isn't it?
I feel like I'm on a football programme. It's difficult to tell, isn't it?
What are your thoughts on VAR?
Simon Case said that Boris Johnson is using the same phone number that he's been using for years, and that he'd asked him to change the number, but Boris said, no, I've given this number to a lot of young women. I've made that bit up.
Who fancies a game of Crony Connect?
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Fingers on buzzers, please, for a round of Crony Connect. Who is this, and what's their connection to the government? Ian and Josh?
I think that is Matt Hancock's sister, but I don't know her name.
Is it Emily Gilruth?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. How am I?
You must
You know
think
what?
we're really stupid or something on this show.
Oh, my word. Do you know what? Only Connect's not as difficult as it looks on TV, is it?
Should we call this round Can You Read Out Loud?
It's a phone with a spy.
Yeah, okay. And what?
And they're on Instagram. It's Instagram. It's the social.
It's the new spy social media platform just for spies.
I don't know if you're joking. Yes, it is.
It's
Oh, is it?
MI5.
Am I spy? What? Sorry.
MI5.
Are we in an old people's home?
This perspex screen. Hello, dear. MI5.
How has one man in Cambridgeshire helped his dogs to spy on the neighbours?
He's fitted them with telescopes in their head. He secretly pushed up the tape recorder up their arse. And then
He's drilled holes in the fence.
Oh, that's
so that
an
the
easy
dogs
way.
can watch the world going by. Look, here he is with the dogs. This is Andy and the dogs. And here they are at the fence. Hello. Peering through.
That is... It looks like the dog version of Naked Attraction.
I mean, the neighbours must have been so relieved when it turned out that's what the holes were for. They have all lost their title, apart from Prince Andrew, who never was an admiral.
Oh.
He just wanted to dress as one at the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral. The problem is, OK, the royal family is in mourning, and I'm really sorry he lost his father, and I was very touched and moved by the funeral of the Duke of Edinburgh, and yet it's hilarious that Prince Andrew wanted to dress as an admiral. It just is. There's no getting away from it. It's funny.
But that's all right. I don't know why these conflicting emotions worry you. That's what being British is. You find it simultaneously moving and hysterical.
I assume he just is always dressed as an admiral at home, just all the time.
I just worried the uniform would be too heavy and that he might sweat. Oh, but of course.
And Mr. Potato Head.
Yes.
Yes, the title was dropped. Yes, the classic toy is being reimagined for the modern consumer. The Mr. is gone and they're replacing him later this year. You're going to get a kit with 2 adult potatoes, 1 baby potato and 42 accessories. So that possibilities to create your own families are endless with mixing and mashing all the parts and pieces.
It can't just be called Potato Head.
No.
There's nothing to announce it. Like, it's just like Potato Head. Like, it doesn't work.
It's an insult.
He wouldn't be the success that he's been if he'd been launched as Potato Head.
Oi, Potato Head, you can't park there. That's where the weasels are coming from.
I like the idea you have to announce him as though he's coming into the funeral. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, representing Potato Land.
He's not allowed to be Admiral Potato Head. That is not allowed.
Take off that uniform. You can't have a potato dressing as an admiral, for God's sake.
Missing Words Round, which this week features as its guest publication, Puppetry International. It's delivered by actual Thunderbirds, although in close-up you can see it's a real hand putting it in the letterbox.
You're pleased with that, are you?
I really like that.
So what sort of week have you had, Ian?
Fine, thank you very much. Encouraging. I've got out a lot, obviously, drinking in public, in parks, in open spaces.
I've seen you doing that.
Outside supermarkets.
Yes.
It's been great. I don't remember a lot of it, but...
What do you drink when you're in the park? Lambrini?
But it was a car.
Dominic Cummings has taken to his blog, making a series of damaging assertions about Boris Johnson.
The great thing about this scandal is that it's complicated in the who leaked what business, and I thought the public's not going to get interested in this. And then it turned out it was about John Lewis furniture. I'm that cross, really, because most of my house is John Lewis. And the idea that...
He's homeless, he lives in John Lewis.
But again, it just shows how little the Prime Minister understands the public, in that he thinks if his girlfriend's snotty about John Lewis, then that's fine. It's old Granny Theresa May. Oh, ghastly, embarrassing style. Who do you think votes for you?
One of the allegations that Dominic Cummings makes in his blog is that the leaking last year of details about the second lockdown was not him. Who does he say it was?
Michael Gove.
Near.
Near. A guy called Mauve. Anybody called Guy called Mauve? Can we look that up? Is there anybody called Guy called Mauve?
The Prime Minister has met the costs of the Downing Street refurbishment from his own pocket. As I've said, he has met the costs out of his own pocket. But I do know that he has met the costs from his own pocket. We're very clear he hasn't broken the rules, that he has acted in line with the declarations that need to be made, and he has met the costs himself.
It's what she went into politics for.
He's taking a very firm line there.
The idea is he's met the costs from his own pocket, but it doesn't say who filled his pocket 5 minutes before.
An awful lot of focus on Boris's pocket. I'm not going to find that very safe.
Imagine them turned out with nothing in them most of the time.
Liz Truss there looked like her face was trying to escape her own head.
She's got other things to try and escape from. Have a look at this. She's taking a firm line despite everything they're throwing at her.
Grieve yesterday said that he was a vacuum of integrity. Johnny Mercer said this week it's the most distrustful.
It's a curse, isn't it?
That's Carrie throwing out a John Lewis curtain rail.
That's the hat stand.
Yeah.
Big gone. Meanwhile, why was Tony Blair trending this week?
Something about his hair. I didn't see the photograph, but he's got long hair.
Come to think of it, Paul.
Absolutely.
Paul, I think yours is better, though.
I haven't seen his hair yet, so I don't know whether that's an insult.
OK, let's have a look. Yes, by the way, it was his hair.
Yes, my hair's better than that.
I think it is.
I don't look like the drummer in Iron Maiden.
In the Lulu Little showroom, one man stands and dreams.
He's in John Lewis. He deliberately went to John Lewis to do a photo op, and the Conservative spokesman said, "Look at him, he's playing politics." That's his job. It's the leader of the opposition.
It is exactly to do with the retitling. It is Scottish investment house Standard Life Aberdeen has rebranded. It's now called Aberdeen.
Oh, no.
What prompted them to make this change? Ditch all the vowels, some of the vowels.
I have no idea.
Was it a severe mental breakdown?
Maybe they took a lot of E and they couldn't see the letter anymore.
Can you see any potential issues with this new name?
They could go to PricewaterhouseCoopers and it'd be Rick.
Yes.
The minute you said that, I was like, I cannot wait to see what she does.
Well, presumably the only conditions you'd ever want to be in a driverless car would be if you're drunk.
I mean, you could sort of, you know, you go to a country pub, you get drunk, you put your postal code into the car, but you're drunk, and so you end up putting the postal code in for Aberdeen, and you end up there. And you look at that, so I don't even know where I am. I'm so pissed I can't even read that.
Well, you end up at your old house. We've had pissed people turning up at our door who used to live... I mean,
used to live there? What do you mean?
The house. But that happens quite a lot, apparently.
Because they get the postcode wrong.
Well, people just turn up. They're at the door at about 3 in the morning.
Theresa May at number 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Ian and Joe.
Is it David Cameron?
Yes.
Yes, I got one right.
This is just the next chapter in Green Cell.
Oh, yeah.
It's great that Joe recognised him, because most people now say, I don't know who he is. I never met him. I certainly never had any phone calls from him, and I didn't give him any help. So I have no idea who that is.
The easiest TV quiz show to win
is Name That Fruit, which is on Tuesdays.
Pomegranate.
I'm going to give you it. Eggheads, because you...
What do you mean, name that fruit? I'm going to give it to you, eggheads. What are you talking about?
Eggheads is apparently the easiest one to win. According to The Times, the second most winnable quiz is Pointless, the daily quiz hosted by Alexander Armstrong and Richard Osman. I have to interject there. I think you'll find it's hosted by Alexander Armstrong. Richard is my assistant. It's just eye candy.
How many programmes do you record in a day? I mean, it's about four. You can always tell the fourth one because you both look bored shitless.
Do we really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, God, we go to such lengths. What found smothered in butter on Russell Road, Salisbury?
Russian agent.
Sleeping policeman. Parked car. What else did you get at a road? Double yellow lines. Garden gnome.
I'm going to give you that. Land Rover is the answer. That's not the worst of it on the way home.
I'm going to give you that.
Yeah, egghead.
On the basis of what?
He said car.
He said almost everything.
Yeah,
well, that's true.
Car, garden gnome, and sleeping policeman. That is everything. I want to go on Mastermind, special subject, everything.
Can I just say, twice last week, Paul Merton publicly accused me on air of being drunk. I am.
This is Super Thursday. It really was, wasn't it?
It was pretty super in the polling booth I went to. I took my own pencil.
Oh, yes, because you're meant to.
Yeah, you've got
for
to be very
hygiene
careful
reasons.
now. You don't want to share it.
I know, but don't you enjoy when you go to a polling station taking the pencils? Like, do you remember at Argos as well? Did you ever go? Do you know what Argos is, Ian?
You lost me on taking the pencil.
That's
I mean,
the
sometimes
joy
gets
of it.
confused between Argos and voting, because the last time you voted, you left with a fridge freeze.
Well, I was promised it by the politician.
Yeah, you promised it.
Kia's been trying to toughen up, though, by doing some boxing. Do you want to see his ring work?
Yes, please.
Try and whack it. Yes, this is good. And again. That's it. And again. Try and breathe. Relax. That's it.
That is the worst right hook since John Prescott. I can tell you that years and years ago, I challenged Boris Johnson to a fight.
Did you?
I did, on telly, live on telly, so-called celebrity boxing, and he said he was going to fight me, but only if I didn't break his nose, which I promised I wasn't going to do. And so that was all fine. He didn't want to do it in the end, and it didn't happen.
I'm really shocked that your story involves the Prime Minister promising to do something and then just not doing it.
No,
You didn't
I
feel
know.
Do you reckon you could take on Kia, then?
Well,
I could take on Kia.
Who's the hardest politician?
Nicola Sturgeon. You wouldn't want to get into a room with Nicola Sturgeon.
Yeah, OK, so then what about your colleagues in journalism? Would you take any of them on? Like, what about Hugh Pym?
Hugh Pym is about 8 foot.
What about Beth Rigby?
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
Have you seen Beth
The
Rigby?
direction of this programme is taking a very strange detour.
Would you like to see a picture that makes Joe Biden look massive?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, Joe Biden and his wife Jill posed for a photo this week with the former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. There we are.
There is this strange sort of lens going on there, because Jimmy Carter's feet...
Yeah, massive.
He's going skiing by the look of him. I mean, there's something gone wrong there.
Yeah, which makes you think maybe Trump's hands were just a long way from the camera, and that's why they were really tiny. Didn't know about the lens.
Joe does look like he's operating Rosalind from behind, doesn't he? Like...
Yeah, someone apparently called Leonardo da Vinci claims to have put it through a process which readjusts the perspective. Shall we have a look?
Fish. We've left the European Union, and so now it's war.
Yeah. This is the news that France and the UK may soon be at war over Jersey.
It's not only our fishermen who thinks this is a terrible deal. You know, the French fishermen are furious with Macron for giving in.
With mackerel?
With Macron. Yeah, President Macron. At which point, Boris thought, it's Thursday, let's send in the gunboats. And then the French sent some boats. But I believe it's de-escalated. Is that right, John?
Yeah, the French went home for tea. And said, calm down.
Jersey's Assistant Environment Minister, Gregory Guida, and other officials sailed out to meet the French fishermen for discussions, which, according to BBC Jersey, may involve shouting from boat to boat due to COVID restrictions. What are you going to do then? Yeah, I'll do that.
Well, they've got a curfew as well, haven't they? Still,
Yeah.
so.
I am very angry, but I have to be back for tea time.
They can't cut the electricity off. That's drivel. The contract is between them and a company. They'd have to pass an act of law to cut it off.
Best-selling author, is that all he's known for, is it, Ian?
Don't know. I'm just thinking who I'd believe in any particular situation. An entire country or an ex-con who went inside for perjury. It's a toss-up, isn't there?
Yeah, it certainly is when you look at him.
Nice to see an old friend, though, Ian.
It's lovely to see old friends. Yes, it is. I had no idea he was still out and about. Is that a tag?
Does anyone know what the people of Jersey are known as by other Channel Islanders?
Wankers.
Well, they're called crappos, which means toads.
This could be the pilot for a new quiz show called Who Cares? Who cares? This week's host, we're not going to tell you.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Napoleon was actually of above-average height.
Yeah.
It was just English caricaturists made him very small.
Yes.
He was about 5'9", I think.
5'9", that's tall, isn't it, really?
Right.
Was back then, wasn't it? Yeah.
He was definitely of average height.
Well, if you've tuned into Who Cares, how tall was Napoleon? Tune in next weekend, we'll tell you.
Oh, hang on, news just in. Napoleon was 5'6", Ian.
Oh, excellent. Average height at the time.
So how tall was Wellington?
Well, I can tell you Nelson's 300 foot high. I don't know if you...
They've had a makeover of the Scots Oats porridge man. So can you spot the difference?
Slightly camper in the wrist at the end.
And he literally appears to be in a meeting going, yeah, I'll get back to you.
How has Gwyneth Paltrow, creator of the vagina candle and vampire repellent spray, expanded her brand this week?
She's expanded her what? I'm not surprised if she's using a candle.
One of those pillar ones. This candle just won't light. Don't ask. Damn quick. She's being a wellness advisor on cruise ships.
Yes.
Oh, God.
If this is a quick tip for anybody who's watching who's going on a cruise at some point, beware if the crew start handing out ice creams. That means that somebody's died on board and they need the freezer. So, they start handing out free ice creams. Check on Auntie. It's true.
Can you imagine what flavour they'd be with Gwyneth?
Do you remember the story where a woman nearly burnt down her house because her Gwyneth Paltrow the candle and it exploded in a living room?
Yes.
It's called This Smells of My Vagina.
Yeah.
And it exploded in her house. And it's like, if that's a sort of representation of Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina, I'm just suggesting, we've all had thrush, but that really has taken it to the limit.
I'm just enjoying looking at Ian, Paul and John's faces.
No, we're all learning.
Yeah.
We're all thinking to ourselves, what's a vagina?
Does anyone fancy this cruise, then?
Oh, thank God you finished that sentence the way you did. Is there a buffet involved?
I love a good buffet, actually.
Yeah, so do I, yeah, we all fancy the cruise if it helps.
Yes.
There was somebody explained to me why that was first invented rather than a bicycle with two ordinary wheels, but I can't remember what the explanation is.
You get the smaller wheel to drive the bigger wheel.
Right.
But they hadn't done that bit
The
yet.
latest bit of Who Cares?
Exactly. Hey, well, that's my show.
At 5:30, an already sizable crowd was in front of the stage. By 6:30, a girl was being sick on the grass next to the filthy vegan food van.
Yay.
Yeah, you're beginning to sell it to me.
I'll hold your hair back in when you're being sick.
So while the young people of Liverpool were doing this, here's the scene at the Cranberry Farm pub in Exeter on Bank Holiday Monday. It's saying gale force winds and rain. We've got to eat outdoors. They don't have umbrellas or patio heaters. Get that table booked, Shirley.
Who needs the Algarve or, you know, the Isle of Capri when you've got a roundabout with one of the roads shut off as well?
It does show how desperate people have got. I had a drink outside a pub. It was the middle of the night.
It's cute, though, isn't it? I mean,
I think its eyes are too far apart. Makes me suspicious.
Not as suspicious as the one on the left. Oh, he's not having any of it.
He's like that. He opens up his wing and goes, "Want to buy a watch?"
What do you do to relax, Ian? What do you listen to or do?
Sober up.
Yeah, these are the election results, which were extraordinary.
There were 8 local councils were lost by Labour.
And is that bad?
That's not good.
But of course, we haven't got that result yet. But what we can do is start to look at exactly what is going on in the rest of the country, assuming this magic wall actually does work, which it isn't at the moment. Oh, here we go. Just getting used to it this morning, you know, it's very, very early doors. Here we go. So let's have a look at, let's just have a quick look at, oh, it's not working.
Lewis, do you want the remote control, man?
Look, I mean, it's very early. We're just getting used to each other, this screen and me, you know what I mean?
Don't worry, mate, nobody was watching.
I read the other day that somebody said that the leader of the Labour Party needs to be an entertainer and a teacher. I was like looking around, who have we got here who's an entertainer and has been... Oh, rubbish!
Oh, listen,
It's a great job.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I mean, and if things don't go well for you, people are very, very kind.
No, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
And particularly the former leaders.
Yeah.
I love the fact that both Blair and Corbyn came out within about
2 microseconds saying, you see, you're useless, aren't you? If it had been me, I'm just saying, me, it would have been great. But you are useless.
Yeah, I think I'll pass. Thank you, though. Can we see how they're getting on over at the BBC with their jazzy election graphics?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Hugh was saying that there is a variety of councils that have been up for election this time round. Let's see if my screen will cooperate with me here. Let's just try that again. No. Am I not going to have any luck? I was wanting to show you some of the councils which have changed hands. I'll just give it one more go. There we go, and then try it here. I'm afraid it's not going to work.
It's terribly comforting, isn't it? Other people's IT being completely useless.
While in the town of Torgau in Germany, they unveiled a 2-metre-tall wooden statue to lift the spirits of locals during the pandemic. It paid tribute to local crop asparagus. Locals have been encouraged to stay firm, and this would surely have inspired them to do just that.
Yes. Asparagus. Yeah. They're calling that asparagus, are they?
Wait, is that the asparagus?
Yes,
That's the asparagus. I thought we were on to the next
No,
thing.
no, no, no. I didn't just
That's
randomly
not. That's
throw
a
up
knob.
penis, actually. No,
That is not an asparagus. Yeah.
Nothing gets past you, then.
Yeah.
Welcome to
You're on our side.
Yeah, it is quite penisy, yeah. Yeah, very, very.
With the scaffolding.
Yes. Which is how I have mine, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Every man's dream. Scaffolding.
Well, I don't know if that's my dream. I don't want to knot hole halfway down it. I wonder who on earth got that job to carve that great big wooden knob. There we are. They built it somewhere near the palace. Look at the size of that wooden phallus.
Diana Rigg's computer password revealed to be what?
A secret.
Knob.
No, but it is rude.
Cocksucker.
No.
Arsehole.
No.
Wanker.
No.
Labia.
That sounds like a really bad firm of solicitors.
I'm sure I had a letter from them the other day.
Some of them work for Faber and Faber.
Fuck off.
Correct.
Oh.
Diana Rigg's computer password revealed to be fuck off.
In London, as indoor eating returns, it's feared some diners may have forgotten how restaurants work. How do you feel about there being an audience here?
No, it's great there's an audience, and there's somebody over here with a very distinctive laugh, which is great because you know when people laugh, it is inspiring. So I'm thrilled and pleased and excited that we have people in front of us again.
Okay.
Red don't go, amber don't go unless it's an absolute family emergency, and green you can go. And I think there's only, is it Portugal and the Falkland Islands or something on
That's
green?
exactly right. Amber also, if you're an Instagram influencer, you're allowed to go.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, it is.
That's what
Was that one of the exceptions?
Yes, because that's a central business.
Oh, is that?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, so we all need to sign up to being Instagram influencers and then we can go on holiday.
Like you're not an Instagram influencer.
Okay, is this when I can put my Instagram account out and ask everybody to follow me?
I mean, listen, very best of luck. Go on.
There are thousands of tourists that have gone to Portugal on holiday this week. If the government want to stop us going somewhere, presumably they should stop us going somewhere. What is the problem?
And stop flights
They stop us going to funerals. I mean, they stop us going to care homes. But if you want to go on holiday to a place that's a bit dodgy, fine. What is wrong with them?
You know, and this is the point about the red list.
No, what is wrong with them?
What is... How long you got?
A couple of hours. We'll make time. What is wrong with them?
I just think they've gone off on a little wander off to the right and they just need to find their way back into the central space.
I think we've sorted it.
Yeah, I think we have.
You can meet some lovely people on the plane to Portugal. Who? The answer is journalists.
Oh.
The planes are full of journalists reporting on how everyone's going to Portugal. Or would be if they could guess a seat. One person tweeted, convinced that everyone currently on a flight to Portugal is just a journalist there to report on it. Loads of film crews trying to vox pop each other. This is exactly like when Special Branch infiltrated an extremist group, only to find out that all 7 of them were from Special Branch.
group didn't exist. Is he offering advice on hugging?
He is. People should hug outdoors and avoid tight clinches. Nothing too tight, lads.
Yeah.
Listen, chance it'd be a fine thing.
Yeah, look at this.
OK.
I'd be all over him if this wasn't.
Exactly. This has got nothing to do with COVID. I insisted upon it.
He'd be climbing you like a tree.
He's a tiger. He's a tiger.
He'd try and put you inside him.
Well,
excuse me?
I mean, like a Russian doll, not... Why is that...
The serious story really is we have to be prepared to hold our own government, and if that means that's my own party, to account.
Yeah. I like the idea this is a clash. Oh, sorry. I always forget politicians need the clap at the end.
Applause is a better word in that context.
Not with this Prime Minister. Oh, really?
Prince Charles, I think, has suggested, which is actually a rather good idea, for the Queen's Jubilee, that everyone should plant a tree.
Which Jubilee? Do you know?
Yes. Do you know what? When I was at school, I remember at primary school, it was her 25th, it was a Silver Jubilee, 25th year, and we got a little silver coin. And now it's her 70th. And I briefly panicked and thought I was 95.
What's your favourite biscuit, Richard?
Well, this is going to be very controversial.
No, go on.
Jaffa cake.
OK.
It's not a biscuit.
Which people say is not a biscuit, but of course it is.
That's why it's called Jaffa cake.
But Jaffa cakes are in the biscuit aisle. If you had a kid's birthday party...
I'm sometimes in the biscuit aisle. Doesn't make me a biscuit.
Yeah.
Although you're a little bit of a biscuit. What are your favourites? No one asked you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Finally.
It's the Meghan question. How are you?
Thank you. It's been a lot of people on the inside have not asked me that, actually. It's ginger nut.
At the Athletics Championships in Madrid, competitors have developed a new ploy to avoid being tested for drugs after winning their events.
Boris Johnson in a plane, Dominic Cummings, here he is imitating the Beverly Sisters. So he's made various accusations, and Boris and Matt Hancock have denied them.
And it's good that we've got David on tonight.
Yes.
Because it's an episode of Would I Lie to You?
Yes.
The answer is from everyone, yes, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there from the beginning. He said Boris Johnson is not fit to be Prime Minister. Of course he isn't. He appointed you. This is the man who almost single-handedly worked to make him Prime Minister. And it's also absolutely extraordinary that he only noticed that the Prime Minister was utterly useless when he was sacked. It just didn't occur to him the whole time he was on board with the project. And then suddenly, oh my goodness, I've suddenly realised. You're an idiot, and so am I.
There's people dying, but still, somebody said something nasty about her Doug.
You're pronouncing dog as Doug, is that it?
Doug. It's Scotland for dog.
Is it? So, what do you call people who are called Doug?
Doug.
Doug.
Doug has got a dog.
If the dog dies and you have to dig a hole, have you dug a hole for Doug? Have you dug a hole for Doug? Is it ding dong Doug?
This is the news that a Ryanair flight was diverted and forced to land in Belarus so a journalist critical of President Lukashenko could be arrested. Why was Lukashenko so keen to get his hands on 26-year-old Roman Protasevich?
Well, he'd written a blog which was critical of the dictator and said he'd rigged the last elections and that dissent was a reasonable idea and he'd had to go into exile. But that's no good anymore. There is no exile. You know, it's like living in Salisbury or being in Hong Kong. I mean, these people will just come and get you at some point.
Yes. On which note, I'd like to say I think they're great. As well as Protasevich and his girlfriend, another man got off the plane in Minsk. Why?
It was closer to where he wanted to go.
Yes. Yeah, he was.
He thought he got the Ryanair flight to Frankfurt.
He was a Greek national who was actually heading to Minsk anyway to see his wife. So, you know, every cloud. And apparently it's been a great anecdote for him. And the funny thing was, I thought I was going to have to change, but no, I was really early, and then I got home and she was having an affair. The thing is that makes me so angry about it is the thing that makes people love the BBC is not the ruddy news. The news is a boring programme. We all know it. And in their desperate attempts to make the news watchable, they've stooped to tabloid tactics, and that is going to destroy a corporation that is loved for the drama and comedy and documentaries it's produced for decades. And the Tories will cheerfully get rid of that and use this bullshit as an excuse. And Martin Bashir may have unwittingly been the executioner of the BBC. Makes me very angry and bitter. But it had to come. Who else is now hoping their concerns about Martin Bashir's conduct will be taken up?
Mike, oh no, he's dead. I was saying Michael Jackson.
Not Michael Jackson, no.
Good evening, bonsoir, goedenavond. That is good evening in French and Dutch, although I've got absolutely no idea which is which.
And you wonder why we get null point. Good evening. Do you hate us? Please vote now.
The thing I find inexplicable about that is I can't believe she doesn't know that bonsoir is French. I mean, she will have been to France. She will have done French at school. It's very basic French. By a process of elimination, she knows which one is Dutch.
Yeah. But we've just had hours and hours of everybody else perfectly speaking English as a sort of politeness towards us. On she comes and says, blimey, foreign, eh?
Yeah.
And that's our contribution to Eurovision.
Our entry by James Newman scored literally nothing, something which, according to the organisers, with the scoring system implemented in 2016, should have been technically impossible. So well done us. What have Priti Patel and Boris Johnson both been wearing recently?
Label jackets telling you their job on it.
That's exactly it, and it's unbearable.
In case somebody forgets who they are.
Yeah. Here's Priti on an immigration raid in London.
Oh, dear.
She's got that face that looks like your auntie when she's been told she's not getting a free tote bag off the Avon lady.
Here's Boris in Portsmouth.
Jesus wept.
Probably can't get a jacket with twat written on it, can you? Probably can't get one.
Andrew was surprised at the lack of information available about what?
Young female masseurs.
I'll give you a clue. It's not Prince Andrew.
Ah.
Oh, it's a shame when it's not Prince Andrew, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame.
That's what the prosecutors always say.
That's Boris, and but I don't know who she is. Yeah, so Boris got married secretly on Saturday, and everybody's very happy for them. Whoever they may be.
Yes, pretty sure that's it. It's the Prime Minister's marriage to Carrie Simmons.
Carrie, right.
Carrie Simmons. Remember her for as long as she lasts.
Boris is giving her the sort of look there as if he's desperately trying to memorise her face.
A lot of people say I look like Carrie, and then a lot of people say I look like Boris, it seems. Someone on Facebook, if you combine their faces together, it looks more like me than either of them.
I actually think, because I think we have the photo, so this is what someone on Twitter did.
My family members texting me that.
Who provided the music for the Hay Bale Festival wedding?
I think it was a folk band called the Fiddlers. It's
Yes.
pathetic how much I know.
True, Ian. Oh, well...
I mean, you would think the Roman Catholic Church would know better.
So you were almost right. The band is actually called Fiddlin' About.
Worse.
Yes. Yes, and then Conservative Party donor Lord Brownlow. There he is.
That's just Boris with no hair. Why are they sharing a face?
Well, you can talk.
Boris keeps saying, I don't see anything in the data. Like that's his skill set. Like, it's wild.
Well, it's one of those ways the English language can sort of fool and bemuse you. I don't see anything in the data. Not there isn't anything in the data.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Do you think that's like a class at Eton? You know what I mean? Like dodge using English.
Not in my day. Well, I was just a caretaker.
I'd love to see a sitcom where you're a caretaker.
Yeah, that's it.
Or what's
Eat and mess.
And Ian is the principal, and you two have like a real like cigarette and sweeping chats about the world, but you can't really hang out in the real world because you're from different classes. It's set in the 50s.
And for a laugh, we swap hats, and some new parents come around, and they think I'm the principal, and they think he's the caretaker, and off we run, 10-part series.
I'm not against it at all.
No.
Yeah. I meet all the new mums. Hello, darling.
So, Clive, you are the new host of Mastermind, taking over this summer. Congratulations. But we actually thought that giving a nod to the format would just be a bit predictable and lazy. So, but we're going to do it anyway! Of course we don't have the budget. Hello, welcome to Have I Got News For You. Ian. What? Sorry, Ian. What is your specialist subject?
What, generally?
Yeah, just generally.
For this evening, it's the life and lies of the Prime Minister.
Roshi! Ooh, what's yours?
I'm ready. I've been waiting for this my whole life.
What's your specialist subject?
Pasta dishes.
Okay, but your question is about this man. His name is Jem Wakeman. My question for you is, why is he disappointed?
And why is death waiting for him up on the hillside?
So, Clive. Sorry.
I am now officially blind.
Paul.
Yes.
What's your specialist subject, please?
Items that seemed like a good idea at the time but didn't make the final edit. Keir Starmer is going to be interviewed on Piers Morgan's life stories, as I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been asked to go on, Ian?
Do you know, I haven't.
Really?
No, I'm looking forward to the invite. But I mean, it's a very successful format. You have to go on and cry.
Yes.
And then everyone loves you.
Yes, they do.
Very, very simple.
So he'll be asking him about the latest by-elections then.
Am I right in assuming, from your response, that you have tried drugs but that you didn't actually like them and didn't want to take them anymore?
Piers, we had a good time at university.
So that's a yes.
We had a good time at university.
That's a yes. It's a yes.
Well, surely at university, Ian, at university you must have been, you must have been enticed into taking some snuff at some point.
Actually,
let's put it this way, Paul. We had a good.
Piers Morgan asked Keir to sum up a Keir Starmer Britain in 3 words. Pride in our country, dignity for children growing up, dignity at work and change.
I think that's right, though. He shouldn't play
Yeah, you're right.
At least try and answer it with a policy of some... Do you disagree, Ian? You've got your face of disagreement on.
No, not at all. I thought exactly right.
Oh, and he's got his face of disagreement on. That's his natural resting pose. He's been chucked out of more pubs for looking like that than any other person you can see here.
I can read the nuances now.
I was literally thinking that's exactly right. I've just got a bitch face.